So I'm Ashleigh, I'm from Options for Sexual Health and also one of the volunteer organizers for NetSquared Vancouver May. Yay! So I'm going to show you, actually, can I get you to help me find the...
Got it. You talk, I'll search.
Okay, so at this fancy NTC conference that we were talking about earlier, I actually did the most untechnology related thing, which is called sketch notes. But they found a way to link it all together, and I actually really love this for those of us who have kind of the tech speak or who work in communications. You know that role where people kind of look at you and they're like, well, what is your job? And you're like, I do all these things, and you can't explain it to them because they don't get it. So this is kind of where sketch notes comes in. First question that I have for you all is, who in here is that person who writes down every single word that somebody's saying during a presentation or a learning session? Nobody? It's just me? Okay. Who's the person here who relies on the handout or the PowerPoint notes getting handed out at the end of the session? A few of you? Okay, cool. So, and who here takes no notes ever at any session or presentation ever? You just have like a great photographic memory? I'm really jealous. Okay.
Someone else has always taken the notes and I can just find it later.
Awesome. Okay, I'm that person. I used to be the person who would get upset if I could not capture every word that somebody was saying, and it made me actually pay less attention to what was happening, which meant that I was not being an effective learner, I was not being an effective coworker, I wasn't able to share information. So I found out about something called sketch notes, and this is kind of if you forget everything I say, this is one of the resources. And I've got just up here a couple of my demonstration ones that I did. The idea with sketch notes is that you're, instead of trying to capture everything, you're visually capturing what people are saying. And this book actually goes through a bunch of different ways that people do write down the sketch notes. But what I found is that when I'm writing and drawing pictures using different colors, I actually retain a lot more information and I'm not trying to capture everything. And also, when I go back to talk to my boss and say, here are some of the things I learned, I can actually show her my sketch notes and show her the different points and how to connect the dots, and she gets it. My coworkers understand what I'm talking about. So it's been really nice. Now, I'm not a professional sketch noter, but I do have some that I'll show you. Okay, so they're kind of backwards. So this is from one of the presentations at NTC, and I was able to capture a lot more. I still write a lot, I'm still a big writer, but I was able to capture some of the stories. And the little cartoon, that's me. I've got a princess crown. And just flow through what we were doing a lot better, capture the main points, but not write down every single word they were saying, and it made a huge difference to how I was able to capture information and share. Okay, so those are some of mine. Getting a little bit better, a little bit less wordy. But I also want to show you, so this is one of the people who taught the led the presentation, led the session at NTC, and his name's Greg Lee, and he's amazing. And if you look him up on Twitter, I'm sure he'd be really flattered, but he does post a lot of his sketch notes. And he's got, you can see, like, this is one of his technology ones, but if somebody looks at this and he's explaining it to them, they're gonna be able to follow it. They're not gonna get lost. If they're sitting in a session about project management or project culture, they're not going to be able to maybe get all of the information, but when the communications person sits there and makes something that's easy to follow, it makes it a lot easier for people who are non-tech to digest. And there's just one more of his. So if anybody's interested in being somewhat of a cartoonist, but you actually don't have to know how to draw anything other than a line, sketchnoting may be for you. I will leave this book up on the desk and you can take a peek if you're interested. So that's how the non-technology can become technology friendly and the technology friendly can become non-technology friendly. Thank you.